Welcome, FF champs and Fan Cred members. We're back inside this week because it's raining and crappy here in Boston, Mass. But we are going to talk about the GPP tournaments for the PGA this weekend, mostly Rio in the Olympics because that's the big money, $100,000 first place prize. And we'll talk a little bit about John Deere, which Draftkings hopefully keeps adding contests to and making it at least more interesting. NFL preseason starts. As you know, we are excited for a killer NFL season at FF Champs and our new product, which will be coming out any moment, GPP Master, which we'll talk about next week. But in the meantime, we're not going to play preseason football. We're going to focus on golf and wait for the regular season and that first Millie Maker, which is a big one, $3, almost 2 million players. But anyway, on the golf, quick recap of last week's Travelers. Had a great week. Again, did not win anything huge, but won money. Had 11 of 12 make the cut and made the good move of fading Chad Campbell, who I had said in the video last week and was really heavily owned. Of the top five, I said that we were going to go with Reed and Kuchar. Reed came in 11th. Kuchar came in 17th. So that was good. My number one sleeper was Alex Sejka, who came in 11th. So that was great for the money. Really helped pad the lineup on the top end. And my number one pick of the whole week and my number one pick for the Travelers was Justin Thomas, who came in tied for third. So had a phenomenal tournament and was relatively cheap. I did have a little exposure to Ron, the Phenom, who came in 25th. We talked about using him a little bit. And everyone had to use Thomas Haddon because he is so hot, and he came in at 17th. The rest of my picks, rounding it out, Ryan Moore at 17th, Stroud at 38th, Molinari at 47th, Harrington at 64th, and really disappointing was Soren Jeltsin at 64th. I really thought he was going to be top 10 in this tournament. And the only cut was John Curran. So moving on to the Olympics. First of all, it is the first golf tournament in the Olympics in 100 years plus. It is a crazy format. Because there are 60 golfers and no cuts. And really, it's determining the gold medal, but it's supposed to be the best golfer in the world, but most of the best golfers in the world, or many of them, are not there. So I think that the Olympics should move to a skills competition ending with a regular tournament down the road. I could see them doing long drive, closest to the pin, and make it really, truly who is the best all-around golfer. Anyway, this course, we've read all about the crazy snakes and lizards and other animals that are going to be on it. It's nonsense. It's a short course. It's a par 70. It is relatively easy, and I would not be surprised. You're not going to get a 58 from my buddy Fluff Cowan, Jim Furyk's caddy, but you're going to get 15, minus 20 even can win this tournament. I expect it to go very, very well. And the goal should be someone in the top 10, top 25 PGA golfers, but there is a chance someone else slides in this because it is one tournament. So with that said, we have Henrik Stenson. He's the best golfer in the world right now, playing-wise. He's at crazy money on top there. You cannot afford to really have him and another top 5 golfer salary-wise on DraftKings unless you really go to the bottom. But you can afford that a little bit in some lineups because there are no cuts. So doing a little bit of padding at the top and a little bit of spreading it out with just one. So the two guys I'm really using heavily are Stenson and Kamer. I think Kamer has a shot here. He's had 3 of his last 6 top 10. I think he can win the tournament and win the gold. It's going to be tough to beat Stenson. From the U.S., using Watson, Fowler, one time each. I'm using Sergio Garcia one time each. That is it. I'm going to have them in one lineup with my best lower golfers just because you have to have some exposure. But I'm fading them through most of my lineups, and I'm going with Patrick Reed as my U.S. guy. He's had 10, 13, 12, 10 in his last 4 tournaments. The guy's on fire, and he has a shot. He's always there. He has a shot to win anytime he plays. I'm also, by the way, Justin Rose is another guy who I'll use once and fade. Moving on, who I like. People like Danny Willett. He's a great golfer, but he's really struggling right now. So again, I'm going to throw him into the one time with the top guys. I love Emilio Grillo. I liked him a couple weeks ago, as I said. He was my number one pick, and how can you not? I mean, the guy could win it. He could win the gold. He is a phenom, and he is hot. And I like his soulmate there, Cabrera Bello, who is just playing phenomenal golf. He's made almost every cut of every tournament he's been in. And I'm going back to the well with Soren Jeltsin, even though he is not playing great, because I do think he is a very, very strong player in this kind of on this kind of course. He'll be there. He'll putt well. He'll be in the money. Next tier down, I kind of everybody kind of likes Gregory Bordy of France. He's playing great, and of course I like Sejka again because he's coming 5th and 11th in his last 2 tournaments. But that's not going to be a secret after the Travelers. Then rounding that out, I get Quesney from France, and then I get this guy Caraba. He's from Mexico. He's young. He has not played in too many tournaments, but he actually really strong on what's going to be important here, which is kind of getting the ball in the hole close to the pin and putting. So he is a low money option. So that is kind of how we're pairing it up. I wanted to lengthen this a little bit and just quickly talk about John Deere, which is the PGA tournament this weekend. Throw out a few names and things like that. So Zach Johnson's at $13,000. He's come in the top 3 the last 3 years. The top 3 the last 5 years at his tournament and won it once. Can't leave him out, but I'm going to use him in some lineups and then fade him in others. Following that, again, is Ron, who is playing out of his mind, and again, like Grillo, a phenom. I like Summerhays at, he's playing really good golf as well. He's done great in this tournament, 8, 13, and 4. Gary Woodland's kind of going to be underowned in this tournament, and he's there. So I'm going to definitely have some exposure to Woodland. If you could fit him in with Zach Johnson or Summerhays or Ron, that would be a really good pairing. And then just rifling off some names so we don't get too long here. Johnson Wagner, he's done really well in this tournament the last couple of years. And, I mean, look at his name, Johnson Wagner, Johnson. Scott Brown, Hudson Swafford, both around $8,000, both expensive. But Scott's done really well in this tournament. Always like Billy Hurley, Spencer Levin. I think they can be in the money. They both, Levin had finished 11th in the Travelers, so he had a good tournament. I like Mike Kim. Kind of a long shot down low there, and Luke List at 6,600 because I think he can come out and have a great tournament anytime. Really digging down to the bottom, under $6,000. I like Andrew Landry, young rookie kind of guy, but he strikes it well when he does. So I have some exposure to him, and Tom Gillis at 5,400, who came in 2nd last year in the John Deere. That is it. Can't wait for the NFL. Golf is winding down.